Buckeye Chuck is the official forecaster for the winter time around Ohio. We will talk with the fella who has Buckeye Chuck on his radio show each and every February 2nd. Paul James coming up right after this. For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. Time to visit with my old pal, Paul James. He is with iHeartMedia up in Marion, Ohio, and we worked together simultaneously for several years in radio. And you have continued with Buckeye Chuck year in and year out for, gosh, how long has it been now? 30 years?
Well, Buckeye Chuck actually started in 1979 when Charlie Evers, who then did the morning show on WMRN AM here in Marion, met up with Walter Doc McClaskey, who was a state representative from Marion, and they decided that they wanted to come up with Ohio's official groundhog because Charlie, who was a huge fan of the outdoors, used to right out my window here, used to feed the groundhogs in the woods behind us that now have since become a little bit developed. But we still have lots of wildlife out there. And they went to the Ohio legislature and said, let's make Buckeye Chuck Ohio's weather forecasting groundhog. And they said yes. And we've carried on the tradition every February 2nd since then. I've been part of the show since 1997, believe it or not.
I was thinking you're getting up in years there too.
Yeah,
you got some of that Buckeye Chuck gray.
I got a little bit of Buckeye Chuck fur. That's right. Actually, Chuck was out a little earlier today. We had a video taping a little earlier, and he actually woke up for a little while. And that's what one of the guys said that was here is like, you look a lot like Buckeye Chuck. Like, he's a little younger than I am.
You've had the cameras making the rounds here today.
Yeah.
Of course, your media day is not complete until you've talked with Litter Media.
Well, this is true. I agree.
But you have gone around the gamut, so to speak, from Cleveland TV to Columbus TV, and I'm figuring you'll probably have more coming up too.
Yeah, I've actually, like I said, since you and I started talking, I got another ding of a voicemail that's from another media outlet. And, a lot of them used to come on Buckeye Chuck morning, but, the changes in TV news, they don't have as many people. Plus, with the impending winter storm that the state of Ohio is going to be getting here beginning Tuesday night through into the weekend, probably. I think they're trying to get their resources together, but we do a live stream, and I tell them all the time, you can take the video off the live stream. You can take the audio off of the iHeart feed. Believe me, anybody who wants to talk about Buckeye Chuck and do some good news, it's nice to hear, right?
Yeah. Now you've incorporated a little recipe, a little cooking show, so to speak, into this, and Spam is usually involved in some fashion. And so tell us what is concocted for this Wednesday.
Well, I'll tell you, the show gets started a little bit after 7:00, and we'll be on iHeartRadio for an audio stream of our AM station, WMRN. But we're also going to be live streaming on Buckeye Chuck's Facebook page because he is a national celebrity. And so you'll be able to watch that stream there. At 7:41, he'll make the announcement. But we've incorporated Spam into the show. It happened well before I got here. At the time, Jack Kellogg was the mayor of Marion, and his wife would come out and she would cook up Spam. And the reason why they would cook up Spam is because Spam is actually pork shoulder and ham, which is in essence groundhog. So the tongue-in-cheek kind of aspect of it. And we've tried to carry the tradition along. With the pandemic and staffing and things like that, we're obviously not able to cook Spam at the station. So we're doing a Spam recipe contest. And our winner is going to get announced here real soon, which is kind of fun. The recipe this year actually is a breakfast burrito Spam recipe, which number one, I think is simple that everybody can do. If you can do a little work in the kitchen, you can have it for breakfast while you watch and or listen to Buckeye Chuck. So we think it's kind of fitting, and it's been kind of fun, the years of doing the Spam, and it's got a lot of humor to it, but it's fun. We enjoy it.
The big thing is everybody wants to know if he's going to see a shadow. And from what we're seeing forecast wise, I don't know that he'll get a chance to see a shadow at all with the potential of maybe 18 inches of snow from what
Yeah.
we've seen in some instances up in your part of the country.
Absolutely. We do a deal with Miller Lawn and Power, which is a local power company. They obviously have a lot to do with snow blowers and a lot to do with mowers. So they've been involved for several years now. And Chuck grew up in Marion, and he just thinks it's pretty cool. So every year we do a $500 gift certificate towards Miller Lawn and Power if you can guess what Buckeye Chuck's going to predict or how his forecast is going to go. And I think this year it might be a little easy for you to figure out what might happen, because the forecast, I believe, at this point is 100% precipitation. So if that in fact comes through, then I think we know that Buckeye Chuck probably is going to maybe be emerging at 7:41 to a cloudy day and or a stormy or rainy day that's turning into something else. So yeah, this year might be kind of easy for him. Some years he really has to look up to the sky to see if we've got clouds over Marion, Ohio at 7:41 or not. But I think this year we feel pretty confident that he's going to talk about spring being a little closer than farther away.
Well, we'll make sure the folks down in our part of the country have the link to be able to watch and view and participate. They may not win the gift certificate, but they do get a chance to chime in and watch and see what happens on Groundhog Day in Marion, Ohio. You've already made the local paper down here as well, thanks to the Marion Star. So if you've seen that this week, you have seen Paul, but you're hearing Paul live and in person right now. Even as we speak. Paul, we appreciate you taking time to join with us. Good luck Wednesday. And we're not going to say break a leg, because that could happen with ice and snow involved.
It could. I said, I think mostly we're going to deal with rain on Wednesday, but boy, after that, it looks kind of dicey. But, it's good news. It's happy, fun news. And, whether he sees his shadow or not, going back to the 1840s and folklore is something that I think everybody needs a little bit more of every once in a while.
Absolutely. Paul James, morning host and afternoon host and media extraordinaire. And you're also the official handler, so to speak, of media handler of Buckeye Chuck. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.